it's Alice, and today I'm going on a little adventure in Oslo. And because it's been a while since I did a vlog, and I know you love seeing out and about in Oslo, I thought I would take you along with me. Now, you may know that I love going to museums. It's one of my favorite things. I just find it very enjoyable, and I especially love looking at like art and sculptures and stuff like that, but I also just enjoy all kinds of museums, really. And the new National Museum in Oslo opened in June, which is very exciting news, and today I'm gonna go for the first time. I don't remember if I went to the old one. I think it closed like 3 or 4 years ago as they were building the new one, and I'm sure I went at some point, maybe when I was like in school, but I don't remember it very well, and I don't actually know what they have in their collection. I assume there's gonna be some famous Norwegian artists that I know of because I'm Norwegian, but I don't really know what is in their collection. I'm assuming there's a lot of paintings, but I also feel like I saw that there might be some like clothes and stuff, which I think is very interesting. I don't know if I'll be able to go through the whole thing today. It looks very big, and sometimes, even though I love going to museums, it can be a little bit too much to see in a day. And I like spending like an hour, maybe 2 in a place, and then I need to move on because it's just, at some point you don't see anything anymore because you've just seen so many things. The good thing though is that it's only like a 10-minute subway ride away and then like a 5-minute walk-ish from the subway. So it's very close, it's easy to get to, and I can go whenever, which is great. I love when new things open in Oslo and there's more stuff to go see. And I just love museums so much, so I'm very excited. I am gonna have to go now though, because I'm meeting my friend who's coming with me, and I need to eat a little bit of breakfast before I go so I'm not too cranky or I get hangry, which is no good. So I'm gonna go do that now, and then we're gonna go to the new museum. So I met up with my friend and we sat for a little while in this little park area where we made some tiny bird friends before we strolled over to the museum. Now, the building is a little bit difficult to show you because it's sort of wrapped around another building that was already there. The beige one is actually the Nobel Peace Center, and they've built the museum in the back and sort of around it. The architecture of the museum has caused a bit of a stir here and has split opinions, to say the least. I personally don't really mind it. I think compared to some of the other buildings that have been built here in the past few years, this one is not the worst. The first thing that we saw when we went in though was this wall of skulls, which I loved because I'm me, and I kind of wanted to take one home, but I obviously didn't. And then we just wandered around for a bit on the first floor, which had an assortment of statues, furniture, clothes, and all kinds of old things, really. Eventually we made it up to the second floor where there were a lot of paintings, and of course they had a room dedicated to the painter Edvard Munch. Munch lived from 1843 to 1944 and is one of Norway's most famous painters, if not the most famous. His best known work is Scream, which there are several versions of, one of which you can see here, and then Madonna is another one he's also very well known for. He actually has a whole museum here in Oslo dedicated to his work, which if you don't know how you feel about the architecture of this building, you should see that one. My favorite room that we found in the museum, though, was probably this little fairy tale room, which was kind of dark and had this huge tree in the middle, and I loved all of the paintings in that one because it reminded me of all the fairy tales that I grew up with. We also wandered around some of the sections that had modern art, but neither of us were that into it, so instead of showing you that, here is a small compilation of my friend running into shots and trying to get what she called her 15 minutes of fame. Having seen enough art for one day though, we went to this little cafe that's right outside, which had all of these beautiful buns, and we sat down for a while there before heading to a bookshop nearby where, to no surprise to anyone, I got some books, which I'll show you in a minute. Alright, so I'm back home and I'm not gonna lie, I just took like an hour and a half nap. I want to say accidentally, but I did lay down on the couch and I knew it was a mistake when I did it, and I still did it. But yeah, I had one of those naps where I feel like I laid down and I fell asleep immediately, like I passed out. And then I just woke up really disoriented and I didn't really know where I was, but I'm here. And I thought, because we went to the bookstore, or I went to the bookstore and I got some books, I would show you the books. Now we've got a good little haul here. I got 5 books, mostly because I actually found a gift certificate in my wallet like 2 weeks ago that I thought that I had used, but I hadn't. I just thought I'd used it, and I found it in my wallet and it had like 3 weeks left on it, like you have to use it within a year or something. I got it for my birthday last year and I don't know how, but I forgot about it and I had to use it, so I did, and I got 5 books. We're just gonna go through the tote bag and I'm gonna take out one thing first that I didn't get at the bookstore. I got a spray can of black paint because I'm gonna spray paint something, which you'll see maybe probably in a video like months from now, but got some spray paint. And then I got 2 hardbacks, 2 paperbacks, and a graphic novel, and it's all very exciting. So for the first one, I'm gonna need you to just give me a break on this. I got a book that is beautiful and I've heard a lot about it, but honestly I don't really know if I'm gonna like it, but it's one of those books I just want to read to see, because if it's any good, I'll probably enjoy it, but I've heard very mixed things. But I got this book. This is the Atlas 6, and it even says on the cover here, this is the must-read TikTok sensation, which immediately makes me feel a little weird and a little old somehow. This is a beautiful book though, and definitely one that would have caught my eye if I had just seen it in a bookshop. I guess it kind of did, because I did find it in there. And the thing is, apparently this is supposed to be like dark academia something. I don't know. I just find those kinds of books very compelling. There's a lot in them that I usually quite like. But like I said, I've heard very mixed things, so I don't know. It says something on the back here about magicians and a secret society. And I think there are like 6 people who are trying to get into this society, and they have to like maybe fight each other. I don't know, but they spend like a year in a school type setting, I think, and I don't know. I just want to give it a go. And a cool thing about this is that I think it has illustrations. Yes, it does. And I think that this is like a portrait of one of the like students who are trying to get into this society. Here we have another one. We'll see how this goes, guys. I don't know, but I'm gonna give it a go. I would love to know if any of you have read this. I'm gonna give it a go anyway because I know people have really mixed opinions and I just have to read it to find my own opinion, but if any of you have read this, let me know what you thought. The second book that I got is also a hardcover. This is People Person by Candice Carty-Williams. Candice Carty-Williams wrote Queenie, which is a book that I didn't think that I would like, and then I read it and I loved it. And now I want to read everything she writes ever, probably. And I think this came out quite recently. It's this year, at least, and I gotta be honest with you, don't really know what this is about, but it's this author, and so I want to read it. I really like this cover. It has some foil details on it. I just realized I need to take these like stickers off, which I will at some point. Here we just have a bunch of praise for the book. And in here it says, if you could choose your family, you wouldn't choose the Penningtons. This sounds very interesting, actually. It's about this woman who is 30 and she's an aspiring lifestyle influencer, and her life is shrunk to the size of a phone screen. And she feels really alone, and then something happens that brings all of her half-siblings and her together, and she doesn't know them very well. And that sounds right up my alley. That sounds very interesting. And Carty-Williams' writing is fantastic, so I'm sure this is going to be great. And I love any story with like a woman in her 30s because I'm in my 30s and I am a woman. And I love any like family stuff. So this is going to be great. Next, I got a book because I saw it on the Women's Prize for Fiction long list. It was also shortlisted, actually. I thought that this book won. I've forgotten what actually won, but I guess this maybe didn't. But I got The Book of Form and Emptiness by Ruth Oseki. I want to read this, although I don't know why, because I read up on it and I added it to my TBR and then I forgot what it's about. But it's something about like a library, I think. It's about this boy who is 13 and he loses his father and he starts hearing the voices of things and he finds it really overwhelming. But then he seeks refuge in a library. That's where the book stuff comes in. I remember this now that I'm reading it, and I guess it's about this boy grappling with his grief in the library while the books are talking to him, maybe? I don't know, but I think this is going to be really good. It is a little bit chunkier than I thought it was when I saw it online, but that's okay. I'm gonna give this a go. I'm also gonna remove this sticker because it actually is removable, which I appreciate. And I also need to take like all the price tags off, but that's a job for like tomorrow. Second to last, I got another beautiful book. This is Ariadne. Is that how you would say this name? I don't really know, but this is by Jennifer Saint, and I got this because I saw it and I was like, that's probably a Greek mythology retelling. And it is. So I decided to just get it. I have seen some reviews of this, maybe on Instagram or something. This book has a lot of beautiful covers and like different editions, and I've seen a lot of them. And I like Greek mythology retellings, so I got it. It says on the back here that this is a feminist retelling of the ancient Greek myth of Theseus and the Minotaur. And I don't know that much about that myth. I have read about it, I'm pretty sure, because the names sound familiar, but yeah, I'm gonna add this to my list of Greek mythology retellings to read, and I can't wait. And this cover is just absolutely beautiful, and it also has foil on the back, which is a thing that I appreciate. Like sometimes they cheap out on the back, but they've done it on this whole thing, and it's beautiful. Then lastly, I actually got a graphic novel, which it's been a while since I bought one of those. This is a book that I have seen around somewhere, don't ask me where, but somewhere on the internet I've seen this book, and I put it on a list of like maybe books I wanted to ask for my birthday, and then I just saw this in the bookshop and I decided to get it. This is, I don't think this is a retelling, I think it's just like The Great Gatsby, but in graphic novel format. It's illustrated by someone named Aya. I can't read her last name because it's covered by the price tag. It's illustrated by Aya Morton, and the text is adapted by Fred Fordham. And the art looks like this. It seems to be mostly like pastels, and The Great Gatsby is one of my favorite classics that I've read. I know not everyone loves that book, but I loved it, although it's been a while since I read it, and I thought maybe rereading it in a graphic novel format could be fun. One of the good things about The Great Gatsby, and one of the reasons I feel like it's a good novel to adapt to a graphic novel, is that the novel is actually not that long. A lot of editions of The Great Gatsby have like a really long foreword, but the novel in and of itself is not actually that long. So I feel like it's the perfect like size to adapt for a graphic novel without it being like 2,000 pages. That's it for my little haul though. Got some really good books. I don't need any more books, but finding an unused gift certificate is a good excuse to just get some anyway. And I feel like I got some really good books. I'm very intrigued as to what I'm gonna think of that first book. I really don't know, but I'm just gonna have to like give it a go and see. I feel like maybe getting it was a mistake, but sometimes you have to make mistakes and learn on your own because you just have to. That is gonna be it for me today though. It was a good day. I got to go get some books. I got to look at books. I got to hang out with my friend and go to a museum. All of my favorite things. So all in all, a successful day. I need to go eat something now because I'm super hungry as always. And then I'm probably just gonna watch Gilmore Girls for the rest of the evening because there's nothing like Gilmore Girls that reminds me more of fall when it comes to like TV series. And so I just decided to rewatch it this year because it's August and it's still kind of like summery and I want it to be fall, and so I'm doing things that like remind me of fall because I wish it was fall. How many times can you say fall in one sentence? A lot, apparently. I'm gonna go though. Thank you very much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I got today and what you thought. I would love to hear about it, and I will see you soon. Bye!